Now that I have that truss up there in the air, which you can do it by yourself, it's just a little bit tricky and it's a little bit more of a job, but that wasn't too bad. Now what we'll do is flip this up and I'll see where these roof lines want to intercept. And this is a true structural truss. This is an end gable. That one will be pinned up to the existing building, but we will get this one. This one's true height and represents the true height of the building, as opposed to these, which are 3.5 inches shorter, because those are, you'll lay your ladder on top of that, on top of this, to extend out. So now you guys probably have a little bit better of an idea of what I'm looking at. This structural truss generally will be, I'm gonna make sure our spacing is correct. This should be 24 inches from here to the edge of that wall, the outside wall. Same as over here. We'll make sure it's exactly where it's gonna sit. See, we need to go over just probably an inch. And then what I'm gonna do is scribe my line. I'm gonna scribe a line from right there to over to here on our eave, mark it, get that truss back out of the way, and then I'll take a handsaw and I will saw through there and then up onto the roof as well, and we will zip it all the way down and get it close to this truss, this end truss of the existing building. Okay, we'll make sure we are 24 inches. I just kind of roughed this in. Right on 24 inches. So we'll go down to the other end and make sure we're at 24 inches. So this is where we are intersecting at. So we need to make this mark, but actually you're gonna add another 1/2 inch of sheathing on top, plus a shingle. Make our cut. We'll draw a line from here all the way down to there, and we will cut the shingles right where it needs to be. So snap a line from this point to the end point down there, down here. Take your pencil, lay it flat on this, bring it up to the building. See if you can get a view of that, and we'll just draw our line. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. I definitely can't see it, but I know generally it's there. And again, this is the exact mark of the truss. You'll have to give yourself some wiggle room, and you'll need a little more space for the sheathing and shingles, of course. So that's where we will cut. We'll run our stringer down. Moving right along, guys. I took my saw, cut over, and then started ripping down the shingles. It's a little crooked right there at the end, because I'm dangling off the side of a roof 20 feet in the air, and I was kicking nails in the shingling and all that stuff, so that was a joy. Just make sure you use a crappy blade. I mean, the shingles pretty much took off all the paint off that Diablo blade, but yeah, got it pretty close to our end truss and just ripped it down like I said, got a little, well, I actually veered off course. I hit a nail there. I hit a nail there, and there was a bunch of shingles nails that I'm hitting. So it threw me off my course, but this thing's a beast. It just eats through it, but it does kick you off course a little bit. But this is structural. We're gonna keep that. We need to start flashing that once we marry the two. But this will be the intersection right here. Boom, the line, the roof line for the new addition will go down like that. So I will get this the rest of the way off of there. Look at this. That glue, man. It was holding 50 pounds worth of lumber. We'll make a cut just deep enough to get through the shingles. I don't want to go into the sheathing, and then we'll rip the shingles off. Exactly. Just finished zipping off this siding. I got my saw here. This thing's a beast. I preset the blade depth for 2 depths or two widths of this siding, so I could get through both layers in one shot. So I just kept my line straight on up, cut it. You can see it wasn't quite deep enough right there, which some of that was left, but anyway, yeah, we got it all the way down. This corner here was a little bit difficult because I can't get my saw in there, and I was at an awkward angle, so I have to move. I'll adjust the ladder, get in there and get that out of there. But yeah, we got it all off of there. So that's generally, we continued with the roof line here all the way down. And of course it's up, my truss will sit about right here. So we'll have enough room to get sheathing up in there, flashing and all that stuff. So here's kind of an outside view. So I am so happy I get to leave the majority of that roof line. I don't have to mess with that. Everything that's left is staying. So we'll just marry them together when we go back to get the, when we finish putting the trusses in. It'll kind of be a cool roof line as well, I think. Won't look too terrible. Kind of gives it some character, a little bit of depth, instead of keeping it a straight line with this wall line would have been kind of a pain, because as you can see, I went 9-foot ceilings. I wanted a little bit taller of a building or walls, and that would have intercepted weird at the end, and it would have been a little bit more patchwork with the shingling right here, because actually I'm just cutting off a 10-foot section of material from here all the way down. So I'll have to get in there and finish that. Once we get their sheathing and stuff on, have to reshingle. But yeah, that's end of day. Man, I'm losing count. Is it 5? Is it 6? We will hopefully pick up tomorrow and finish these trusses. Me and my buddy were just kind of putting a tentative schedule in our heads together before we started, and we're like, oh yeah, we'll have 3 or 4 walls up by day 2. Man, how wrong were we? This stuff always, you know, your supposed timeline, I think you could at least double it, and then you're close. I don't do this for a living, so it's kind of trial and error and taking my time so I don't mess up anything too crazy, and it just adds a lot of time. So that's it.